Yo guys, what is up? Moxie here in our Outriders video, and today we're going over one of the most busted things that I've ever seen in Outriders. This is how to break the damage cap with a single skill. If you don't believe me, watch this clip.
Your base damage is just what my fully procced phaser beam just hit.
Alright, toxic. Nice!
That was a billion! That was a billion on screen! That was a billion on screen, I wasn't recording. Sure. I'm just gonna do that. No leap. Just. So yeah, we are able to break the damage cap in Outriders with Boulder Dash. It's hitting over 2 billion damage. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on with it, but I want to give you guys my skill tree and my gear and just kind of let you know how this is working so that you, if you want to try it for yourself, can give it a go. Hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, guys, let's get right into it. So I've now done a ton of testing, and I can recreate this damage every single time it one-shots the final boss and all the bosses every single time, one-shots elites. And there's 3 things that you need to be able to do this amount of damage. The first thing is you need to spec in the PAX node at terms of engagement. Now this reads 60% of the damage dealt by kinetic skills is stored and added to your next kinetic skill. This effect resets every time you release your stored damage. Note, I put out an Earthquake build that was doing millions, hundreds of millions of damage with Earthquake using the exact same node, but this is for seismic skills, and it's only 30% of your stored damage, and this is for kinetic skills, and it's 60%. So it would go to reason that if we could get our kinetic skills hitting even harder than our Earthquake, or just as hard, then we could do even crazier things because we could be able to store all that damage. And that's exactly what terms of engagement is doing. It is storing the damage that you're dealing. Now, in order to increase the damage of your Boulder Dash, you want it to hit as hard as you can possibly get at base, you're going to need damage multipliers. Now, the best damage multipliers you can get are things like the Seismic set, which is going to give you a 50% damage increase against bleeding enemies, mods like Euthanizer, which are going to give you more damage against toxic enemies, and mods like Tainted Blood or Virulent Compound that'll just give you more damage. You just want more damage. Base damage for Boulder Dash, a lot of these damage multipliers. Now, that's the second conditional thing that you need. So, to summarize, you need that PAX node, and you need damage multipliers. Seismic set, Captain Hunter, Tainted Blood, all those kind of things. And the last thing that you need is to be off host to be able to do this. Now, this is where this becomes more of a bug. Now, on host, this skill and this build still works extremely well. Boulder Dash is still hitting like 160 million. It's absurd, but it breaks when you're off host. And the way that it breaks is it never stops storing your damage. Every time that you're going to be doing your Boulder Dash, it's going to store. And now I'm showing you on screen is that you can visually see in the tooltip right here that, for example, my Boulder Dash was at base damage displaying 300 million damage. So if you're off host when you're transitioning through the levels while you're playing the game, it is going to stack, basically, as far as I can tell, to infinite amounts of damage, so much so that you will start hitting negative amounts of damage. Your damage numbers will no longer display, and you will one-shot every single thing in the game with Boulder Dash. And Gravity Leap also works for terms of engagement. I've seen my Gravity Leaps hit upwards of 400 million damage with nothing, and this genuinely breaks the game. Now, because this isn't totally working as intended, this video is formatted differently than a full build video because this is probably subject to change. But if you want to try it out, I'm going to show you the rest of the gear that I'm using just real quickly. I'm using a Voodoo Matchmaker with Fortress and Mage's Rage to stack up the most damage I can possibly get. For any anomaly build, you're going to want a weapon with Fortress and Mage's Rage. It's just so much damage for your abilities. Super important. And then I'm using a Deathscape with Toxic, Omen, and Fortress. Omen is going to apply bleed. Note that my Boulder Dash doesn't bleed enemies right now. It's on a seismic skill. It won't bleed things. So the fact that it doesn't, I need a way to proc bleed, and I'm using Omen to make sure that I'm proccing bleed and toxic, the 2 multipliers for my thing, plus Fortress. And then I'm using the seismic helmet. Note, I've got a ton of wasted mod slots here. It doesn't really matter because you're infinitely stacking damage. So I've got Boulder Dash, reduces the cooldown, Euthanizer, Arms and Anomaly for more anomaly power. Earth's Legacy is for Earthquake. I'm not using Earthquake. Captain Hunter for more damage against elites. Tainted Blood, more damage against bleeding enemies. Primal Knuckle Duster for more Boulder Dash base damage. Virulent Compound for more damage against toxic enemies. Despair is going to give me a double multiplier of my damage, basically. So Despair is really nice here. You're definitely going to want Despair and Gravity Leap. Blood Boost, Power Assimilation. And then I've got Primal Chain. Every enemy damaged by this skill increases its damage by 10% for 5 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times. You're really going to want this mod to start to get to the crazy numbers because it helps you stack it really, really fast. I've got Phantom Dash, and then I've got Second Quake. Note, if I was really optimizing this build, because it stores the damage of any of your kinetic skills, I would want to try to start fitting in a damage mod for Gravity Leap and get 2 Gravity Leaps. If you're fully min-maxing this, I would get 2 Gravity Leaps and have your cooldown, but I'm not min-maxed yet, and we're still one-shotting the final boss. Note that this still does one-shot, not one-shot, but it'll 2 to 3 shot most bosses in your base game. So it's still crazy damage if you're just playing your own host. Like if you're not off host, but when you are off host is when like the crazy damage really starts to stack. And lastly, just real quick for my skill tree, once again, this isn't really optimized. This increases my seismic skills base damage by 50%. I just really wanted to show you guys that like you don't need like a super optimized setup for this to basically break the game. And yeah, guys, that's it. Boulder Dash is currently the hardest hitting skill in the entire game. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I really do appreciate you dropping a like and comment, and hey, maybe even subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.